snooker fans all around the world.
We are here for the battle on the bays. Quite simply, superb.
It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. What a shot that is.
He's got the hot shots all to himself.
The break of a multiple world champion, exuding class. And that's a shot that again will live long in the memory.
Good afternoon, welcome back to the Mattioli Arena here in Leicester, the first day of the 2026 BetVictor Championship League. Of course, 25 players will take part in this event across 7 groups before we get to the final winners group. So we're still in the early stages of Group 1. It's not been a good start for Chris Wakelin. Of course, Scottish Open champion just a fortnight ago. He's already lost his first 2 matches, but he's got another 2, as you can see, to play. Starting against Joe O'Connor shortly. Table 2, Pang Zhengzhou against Tom Ford kicks off, and then Jackson Page, who has already won his first 2 matches, he plays another 2. So Jackson Page could well, by the end of the day, have sealed his place in the playoffs. We will see. Of course, every frame counts here, but certainly they count at the moment for Chris Wakelin. He needs wins on the board. It was a pretty disastrous start. Lots of things going wrong, everything going wrong really. Just one frame. Joe O'Connor, on the other hand, he's had 2 very good results indeed. He beat Hossein Vafaei 3-1 and Elliot Slessor 3-0. So Chris Wakelin, well, he needs things to change. He's had a few hours to collect his thoughts. I think I was talking to him upstairs. He was kind of saying it can't get any worse. So there's still a chance here. Of course, he could qualify. If he wins his last 4 matches, he will do. With the top 4 in the table and therefore the playoffs tomorrow night. Best of 5 frames. The players win £100 a frame and you get a point for winning. And as I say, it's all about finishing tomorrow night in the top 4 to have a chance to get into the winners group. Ben Wollaston alongside me, and as I say, it's a slight difference already, Ben, here, because of course Joe O'Connor is feeling great. He's won his first 2. Chris Wakelin maybe not so much.
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, if Joe wins this match, he's almost in the playoffs with 3 matches to go, and this is almost a must-win match for Chris. So they've definitely got 2 different mindsets going into this match. And Joe looks like he's started how he left off. Good first red.
Yeah, he made a century against Vafaei. It was a bit scrappy early on, but played much better as the match went on, and then had that swift victory earlier against Slessor. Of course, he's a Leicester man. O'Connor runner-up in the ranking event version of this Championship League last summer to Stephen Maguire, and the referee just... we saw O'Connor looking at the black spot. No, it can't, yeah, it has to go under its own spot. That's where the pink would go. On the 26th in the world rankings and is in the top 32 on the 1-year list that decides the field for the World Grand Prix. So he'll be off to Hong Kong in February, which is a big money lucrative tournament.
Yeah, that's a lot of players' aims on the tour, I think, to get in that Hong Kong tournament at the beginning of the season. So, you know, he'll be happy that he's in that.
I think you got in at the last minute, Ben, last year. Very last minute.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to get in. The player pulled out, and I got a message at 7 in the morning saying, can you get here in time? And I said, when do I play? And they said, tomorrow lunchtime. And I'm still in Leicester. Just woke up. So I had basically 3.5 hours to get to London and get a flight. It was the only flight that got there in time, and I got about 2.5 hours before I played. But it was worth it, ranking points and prize money just for turning up. So I was always going to do whatever I could to get there.
Not quite so far for Chris Wakelin down the road in Rugby. Sorry, I kind of missed the green, just left that hampered, but Wakelin's positive. As I say, he's had a few hours to just collect his thoughts after a rather difficult morning, but beauty of this format, there's still time. He's got 4 matches left, including this one, to put points on the board and still finish in the top 4. Even 5th place, worst case scenario, he comes back for Group 2. 6th and 7th are relegated. We'll play Pangjung Zhu later. Just to say, we saw the end of that second match with Tom Ford. He actually conceded. Wakelin 53 behind, 59 on, which is certainly frowned upon. He actually said he misread the scores just to add to his general woes. He thought he was 63 behind, but may still get the fine for that. Seems this red is close to. We'll pot 2 left corner. In general, of course, we know he's feeling great because he won the Scottish Open just a couple of weeks ago. Got his hands on the Stephen Hendry Trophy, the £100,000 first prize. Back in the top 16 as a result, so all is good for Chris right now. Got to try and use that positivity here in this session and climb that league table. It feels like he's already done most of the hard work here, so it's about just trying to stay nicely in. Obviously, there's just a slight issue on the score graphic, but he's building a nice lead. 22 in front. 38 in front. Still needs to deal with this blue. And it's not in. So that's really the best chance he's had today to win a frame cleanly, and he still has not done so. Well, not missed many of those today, but Joe O'Connor immediately letting Wakelin off the hook.
I know Chris and Joe practice a lot together. I think they're both their main practice partner, so they'll know each other's games inside out.
Well, he wasn't punished, simple as that, so you can forget about the missed blue. As you can see, the scores have caught up, so 47 in front, this black to lead by 54 with 51 on. Yeah, I mean, attitude plays a part. I remember Stuart Bingham that time when he lost those 2 matches, and he said he went back to his hotel at the end of the day. I think he'd won the 3rd match, but even so, he wasn't feeling good. And he said, you've got 2 choices. You can either lie here and sulk, or you can come back tomorrow and play better. I suppose he could have done both, actually. But anyway, he chose to be positive and won the group. So he's done enough, but Joe O'Connor had the chance to counter-attack and immediately missed the first red. Chris Wakelin grateful to get the second chance in the frame, which he's taken. Only the second frame he's won all day, but he leads this match 1-0. Just to remind everybody, it's best of 5. They each play each other, so they each play 6 matches over 2 days, and then the top 4 tomorrow night will contest the semi-finals. There'll be a final at the end of the night, and the winner of that is the first player into the winners group, and there'll be 7 players in that winners group, which is played over the same format, and that'll be here next month. Players accumulate money as they go along. There is an overall top prize of £10,000, but of course all the money you've won along the way as well, so it can be very lucrative if you can stay in the event. Pang Zhengzhu was just wrapping up the first frame against Tom Ford on table 2. That's live on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. In fact, Pang has made a century in the opening frame, 102. His second century of the day, in fact. Although he did lose the previous match, he made one in against Jackson Page 3-2.
Nice safety there from Chris. But I think he can just clip this red just above the pink spot.
Yeah, O'Connor left attempt it, and Wakelin has slotted it home very nicely. Of course, he did miss the blue to the yellow pocket in the last frame, but O'Connor immediately missed the next red, so he's sort of just forgotten about that now. Had he lost the frame from that, of course, it would be a different story. He'd add it to the list of woes that he's already experienced today.
I think Chris will want to try and pot that red, which is just by the black spot, to free the black into both pockets as soon as possible. Yeah, you can just roll through for the black now. And the black wasn't quite on its spot before, that's why Chris had a look earlier in this break.
Dimitri Jonins, the referee from Latvia.
Yeah, he just wanted a slightly fuller contact on that red, so he's just lost the white now. He still can pot this red, but it's not going to be straightforward to get on a colour.
Quite know where to look there, did you? I mean, he potted it. He always knew he'd be colliding with the black, which has gone near to this yellow pocket. It's just clippable, it would seem. This feels like now the big shot, actually. This next red. You can pot this, then he's in business, you would think. Yeah, very nicely struck. So Chris Wakelin, you can see the improvement from this morning.
Yeah, he's definitely a different player so far in this match from what we saw earlier. Heard him say after his Scottish Open final that he's spent a lot of time with shots in the middle pockets. So now I'm always looking out for his shots when he's got them in the middle to see if he gets them all.
Yeah, I mean, at the Crystal last year, the World Championship, he potted several really tough pots at acute angles to the middles. Well, he still will need, after this pink, another red. So this is much better from Chris Wakelin.
67.
And it shows how quickly the group can turn around, because of course O'Connor's come in having won his first two. But if Wakelin can go on and win the match, there's only actually a point between them.
75.
And Chris has got one more match today, and I think, is this Joe's last match today?
No, Joe goes on to table 2 later to play Jackson Page. But of course, it's not impossible. They could, by then, be level pegging 2 each. Anyway, Wakelin, after all the struggles today, has a chance for a century. Thought he made 10 this season. Which I guess isn't that many for a player at the top of the game, but Ben said earlier, got to that Saudi semi-final, big money tournament, and then just went AWOL a little bit after that until returning in fine style in Edinburgh. There is also a £500 high break prize for each group. There's still plenty on here.
99.
Oh, he's missed. It's 3-2 to Jackson Page, but if you're going to lose 3-2, he's still got those 2 frames on the board, which I'm sure will decide something tomorrow in terms of placings. Because of course you only get a point for a win, so very often the points are going to be level, and then it does come down to firstly most frames won, then least frames lost. It can come down to the result between the 2 players. Forward was pretty sharp in that first match against Wakelin. Certainly tapped the balls, although that's what you associate with him.
Yeah, as you said about centuries, Chris, considering how good a season he's had, yeah, 10 centuries is not a lot, but I'd imagine Tom, who's had quite a quiet season, has probably had more centuries himself, but...
Well, in fact, he's had 9, but there's still time. Anyway, you can watch Table 2 on the Mattioli Multisport YouTube channel as Wakelin, feeling good now, I'm sure, breaks off here. In frame 3, oof, well, avoided contact with the red, and now looking for cover, and, well, he's got it.
Noticed from the first match that the players are getting the white a lot closer to that bulk cushion. They were struggling at the beginning of the day with the the new table, but they're definitely getting their break off better now.
Well, frame 1, Wakelin missed that blue, but O'Connor immediately missed the next red. And that big moment in this match, had he cleared up there, it would have been another body blow for Wakelin. It's been a day full of them, but he didn't. And we saw Wakelin with that swift 99 in frame 2, feeling better again.
Good red there from Joe. Be interesting to see if he plays a snooker or tempted by this yellow or brown. Good pot in the middle, but he'd have liked the white to go a little bit further because I think the yellow's hampering him slightly for this long red.
Couldn't have got any closer, could he? And really committed to the shot, but it was awkward, but good effort. Well, just had to accept that the break was over.
Played a great white there. He was never quite sure where the reds were going to go, but he's done really well there to get the white back to the bolt cushion. And that good white's forced a mistake, so this is a good chance for Joe here.
Yeah, of course, the Scottish Open was the breakthrough for O'Connor at the end of 2022, reached the final, but a bit like Chan Bing-Yu this year, just didn't reproduce the snooker that got him to the final in the actual final match and lost heavily to Gary Wilson. But he's a player I think the other players really have got a lot of time for. You know you're going to be in for a battle with him, a tough match. Of course, beat Mark Selby, Crucible 2 years ago.
Yeah, Joe's got a lot of similar attributes like Selby. Great safety player, great at getting snookers, you know, had a pool background and got a great temperament.
Yeah, I've just remembered, Ben, the match you had with him in those UK qualifiers. You got a few snookers then, didn't he?
I've never felt more sick in a match, I don't think, in my whole life. I remember he needed 3 snookers after 23 minutes into the frame, and I think the frame lasted 70 minutes. So he was getting snookers for about 45 to 50 minutes. It was very uncomfortable. But yeah, it was almost like playing Selby, to be honest. I don't think many players would have got me in that many snookers.
No, it was amazing. I mean, he won a frame in the ranking event, Championship League last summer against you, sir, when he needed 4 snookers. Anyway, right now he's trying to up a break. He's got the red to the yellow pocket.
Nicely played. Knew he was cannoning into that red to stop for the black. Just under hit that slightly.
Well, some nice little touches here, and O'Connor 40 in front, so a big favourite to pull one back. So 56 the lead with that black, the red and colour, and it's going to be 2-1.
Yeah, so the frame's safe for Joe now, so he'll just be concentrating on making a century now.
Yes, Wakelin of course missed the red on 99 in the last. O'Connor's had 12 centuries this season, including the one he had this morning. We just left that one chance, didn't he, and it's proved to be very costly. So no mistake from O'Connor in getting to the century. One, 2-1 with the last three colours. You expect that to be beaten by close of play tomorrow, but it will be the early contender at least for the high break prize of £500. Yeah, superbly done from Joe O'Connor. Clear of 121, his second century of the day, and he is back in this match. Wakelin's lead reduced now to 2-1. And there's that cool focus that you associate with Joe O'Connor. Just never really got into any serious trouble, just kept potting them. Remember, well, we've just tuning in for the first time. He's won his first 2 matches, so he's in a very strong position and could leave the venue tonight having achieved qualification already for the playoffs before his final matches tomorrow afternoon. Wakelin desperate to get a point first of all, and potentially leave the venue tonight with 2, which would be a result really, having started the day so badly. I mean, you may have seen the results, but if you weren't watching, you really did struggle. The arena here, there's 2 tables of course at the Mattioli. So Joe Connor very much involved in this match again, a 1-2-1 clearance, and he trails Chris Wakelin 2-1.
4-3. Draw call to break.
Good red there. Just wondering if it's held up for the brown. Looks like he has by his reaction. He's just all right. Yeah, immediately trying to get on that red by the black. So it frees up the black into both pockets. Yeah, surprising miss there by Chris.
Yeah, you could see his own bemusement there. Even the red he missed on 99 a couple of frames ago. I know the frame obviously was well and truly won, but still you'd expected him to have potted it.
This is an attacking shot by Joe. Must pot this because he's going to open a lot of reds there. Got the pink and possibly the blue, a little closer to the cushion than ideal, but it's not too bad.
A shot from the other side of the table was like the one Alfie Burden played in that shootout final, which was the first real step towards winning that final. He was left with a tough black after it, which he potted.
Yeah, I remember that from Alfie. I remember thinking the black is basically win or lose. I think it was a really good black as well.
Well, it's in his hands, early days in the frame, yes, but big chance this. Red's in open play, the black's available, pink and blue available.
Yeah, it just proves that these best of 5 matches how quickly the momentum can change. You know, it was looking possibly a 3-0 win for Chris, and now Joe's looking favourite to go 2-2.
Just got to guard against either an unexpected miss or just losing ideal position. Just try and keep things simple, focus on each shot. Turned 30, didn't he, quite recently, but that's nothing these days. With a lot of top players considerably older than him. This is what's changed in the game. You can have more longevity now. Stephen Hendry won his 7th world title at the age of 30, and which shows you how much he packed in before that, of course. Whereas Mark Selby, who so far won 4, he was 30 when he won his first.
21.
He's just landed a bit straight on this blue, so he's just thinking which red, if he's going to play for the red near the yellow pocket, or he's going to play for a different red down this end of the table by the pink.
Well, if you can close out this frame, then of course it can't be a draw, unlike the ranking event version. Don't have draws in this one, in case you're wondering. Of course, they're smaller groups in the ranking event version, just 4 players. An update from table 2. Pang Zhengzhou leads Tom Ford there 2-1. Has to be in a line with the spots, as close to its own spot as it will go.
You've got to have a steady hand to get the pink in between those reds.
Yeah, he's done a good job. So Connor 38 in front.
Judge that really nice, not to flick off the reds, so he's opened all the reds now and got top side of the blue. This time slightly short on the blue, so I think he's going to have to leave this red from mid-range.
Yeah, it sort of feels like the last chance for it to go wrong in this frame. 50 in front, 67 on. Well, he made it 121, a clearance in the last frame. Needs this red to take us to a decider.
Yeah, good chance for Joe to make back-to-back centuries here.
Well, he's setting up a massive frame, isn't he, for both players? For himself, if he wins it, 3 points out of 3, he's pretty much booked his playoff spot already. Wakelin, of course, if he doesn't win it, he's really struggling to stay in the event. Certainly, top 4 would be a challenge. O'Connor has all the momentum going into the decider with the 2 good frames he's put together here.
Yeah, so yellow, green and brown for back-to-back centuries for Joe.
Yeah, he made the 100th of his career earlier this season. Of course, he made a maximum in this Championship League before. Terrific stuff from O'Connor. Brown for back-to-back tons. And in the end, he's dominated these 2 frames. So, as I say, for both players, a big frame coming up. Certainly, it's big for Wakelin. He can't afford to lose it, really. He's got to keep this man out because O'Connor's found his scoring boots as he misses the blue, but it doesn't matter because he's made the century. And he has drawn level with Chris Wakelin at 2-2 to set up a final frame decider. Now, table 2, Tom Ford at the table here, trailing 2-1 to Pang Zhengzhou. Just to reiterate, earlier on, Ford beat Wakelin 3-1. Pang lost 3-2 to Jackson Page, but in this match, Pang's had his second century of the day. Ford made a 65 in winning the second frame.
Eight. Nine.
Early days, but a potential decider there as well. You can follow table 2 on the Match and Multisport YouTube channel. Ooh, you thought it was going to drop at the last moment, but it didn't.
9.
It stayed up. So we'll go back to table 1 because it's a deciding frame conclusion. Chris Wakelin looking for his first point of the day. All smiles and relaxed right now, but I suspect that's about to change.
I think he's been rather fortunate there. That red's gone all around the table and covered the red for Chris to pot. I think he's looking at the plant here, but there's probably 2 foot between these balls, so this will be difficult. That's a great shot by Chris.
See from the overhead the exact distance between them. It's a high risk, but he got it, so he's in first. O'Connor, it's got to be said, the long red he took on, he didn't get too close.
So he's got a low black here. I think even though he's got a couple of loose reds, I'll be surprised if he doesn't go into the pack here and open all the reds. He's just dropping this black in for the red just to above the black spot to the left.
Well, the missed black was costly for Ford because Pang's gone on to win frame and match there, so 3-1. Pang's first point of the day. Didn't quite work out as planned, so a little cut back using the rest. Well, it's in, but it's counting the black and it's not worked out, so let's end the break. Next match on table 2, Ford stays on to play Jackson Page, who so far has won 2 out of 2.
Yeah, Chris has covered that red on the side cushion with the yellow. He was trying to force Joe possibly to open the reds up, but Joe's having none of it, so he's just rolling into the pack off the top cushion. I think Chris will try and get this white in the same position that Joe played his last shot. Make sure he covers that red on the side cushion again. This time there's a gap between the yellow and brown. Joe trying to make something happen there, get the balls open, because he's the one who trails in this frame. It's a pretty good shot Joe's played there. Yeah, and that's quite a big mistake there from Chris. So good chance for Joe to counter-attack in this frame.
Yeah, he's forced the mistake he was looking for when he opened the Reds. So now, as you say, we know he's scoring heavily because he's just made 2 centuries in a row.
One.
You'd like to get the pink on the spot as soon as possible, just so the white can travel less distance to make the break a little bit easier, because it's not as easy to keep going up for the blue and getting the right angle. So I think he'll try and get on the pink as soon as he can.
Seven. Twelve. Thirteen.
Yeah, so long blue or long green here for Joe. I think he'll definitely take one of them on. Does feel the most tense frame so far today, because they both know what a big frame this could be at the end of the group tomorrow.
Yeah, it was all smiles when it started, wasn't it? But that's long in the past. So Wakelin 13 in front.
One. Seven.
So he's 20 in front, so he's going to need four out of the 5 reds to win this frame.
20.
So getting close to 33, the lead, 51 available.
Yeah, playing for the green makes it a lot easier positionally to get on this red in the D.
Yes, and it'll be to lead by 37, so the red in bulk as well is what he needs for his first victory of the group against a man who's made 2 centuries.
24.
But make sure, as we know, Joe O'Connor, he can get snookers. I don't need to tell you that, Ben.
Yeah, he'll need that other red really, otherwise Joe will be carrying on for snooker. So.
25.
Go for this red into the green pocket and screw behind the green just in case he misses it. So I think he's got the snooker, second prize.
Well, O'Connor's going to need 2. Not quite done yet, is it? If you could get 1 successfully, then that does put the heat on.
Yeah, the black's in quite a nice place to get snookers, so.
Well, Harry would love this red in. It ends all anxieties and would finally secure Wakelin his first point of the day in his 3rd match. Yeah, nicely done. So he's got a foothold in this group. And there is the handshake from Joe O'Connor, who played so well. He made 2 centuries. It was a tense decider. It's gone to Chris Wakelin. And he's still very much in contention in this group. He's got another match, in fact, to play later tonight against Pang Zhengzhou. Joe O'Connor will go over to table 2 to play Jackson Page. But in the meantime, in 5 minutes' time here, it's Elliot Slessor against Hossein Vafaei.
It's Joshua Filler with an absolute dominating win. Moritz Neuhausen is your new Premier League Pool winner.
Elisha Schaap makes the ultimate statement. What a journey Paulo Biondo he's made to the pinnacle of a sport. Elisha Schaap has completed a terrific transatlantic double. He didn't want to jump on the table in Florida, but he can't resist this time. Velocious, you are a superstar.
The breakthrough has come for Piers Lamutus.
Team Asia, they've won the Reyes Cup again.
David Alcade, it's your turn again, buddy.
Can you believe it? An absolute nightmare for Tyler Steuer. Europe have won the Mosconi Cup.
I'm Barry Hearn, president of Matchroom Sport.
Talk to me. I'm Eddie Hearn, I'm the chairman of Matchroom Sport.
My son and heir, I call him my project. He's good, but he's not yet great. I'm fucking watching you.
We are the biggest sports promotional company in the world.
Matchroom started as a £100 company and now worth north of £1 billion.
Look at what the old man has done. I never wanted to work for my dad, but you have to play the hand you're dealt.
Eddie, he has ego. It's a weakness, and I won't give up control until I'm sure he's ready.
Boxing is an important element of the revenue stream, but only an element. We've got the greatest snooker player to ever play the game.
The biggest profit earner is darts.
There's no business that has the drama.
I found out you knew about it. You're done.
The ego. Jesus Christ. What is that? The aggravation.
Oh, shit! We need fair judges next time.
The most important thing for my dad is winning. The world's come crashing down on us. I mean, what's going to make you feel better?
Please, could I get a packet of pickled onion Monster Munch?
We need to talk about Conor Benn. We need to get him back in a ring.
Yeah! How you getting on with Jake Paul?
He's taken a number of shots at me.
Come talk. Come talk. Come talk.
And I ain't going to back down.
Show me what you've got.
I'm going to make our company
bigger and better
than ever.
Let's go!
Global domination.
Nothing less.
I still don't understand why the shirt's off.
Day one of the BetVictor Championship League Group 1 continues here at the Mattioli Arena in Leicester. I've just seen the first victory for Chris Wakelin of the day. Next match, Elliot Slessor against Hossein Vafaei. Mixed bag for Slessor. He beat Wakelin 3-0, then lost 3-0 to Joe O'Connor. Hossein Vafaei, though, has lost both of his matches so far to O'Connor 3-1 and Jackson Page 3-1. So for him, he's in the same position Wakelin was in, really just desperate for a point to get on the board. And it, you know, if he were to win this match, suddenly this group's actually very close, isn't it, early on? Slessor's going to break. Yeah, I thought he played well against Wakelin, but O'Connor played very well against him. Vafaei spying a plant here.
Yes, the problem is he'll have to play the red to the left of the pink half ball for the cue ball to deflect off it to make the plant. There's every chance this will work, though, as convoluted as it may sound. Oh, it all but did work, but it wobbled. He was convinced that he'd make that plant. You wouldn't take a shot on like that unless you were pretty sure of yourself, but it's gone wrong, and he has left a red on into the right centre.
Well, it was a great effort, wasn't it? That would have been the shot of the day, I think, had he got it, but not to be. Slessor looking to profit. Elliot Slessor, his highest position in the world rankings, number 20. On the 1-year list, he's number 10. So, looks like, well, he is in the World Grand Prix. Looks very much like he'll be in the Players' Championship with a chance to get in the Tour Championship as well. The 3 big ranking events for elite fields based on this season performance. If he can get in all 3, then that's a major step forward for him.
He's technically really good, Elliot Slessor. He keeps so still on the shot, which is of paramount importance in snooker. It really is. Nothing moves except his back arm. It's hardly surprising, really, that he's achieved the consistency that he has this season. Works very hard with one of the greatest coaches in the modern game, certainly Chris Henry.
Yeah, and he can do it, you know, against top players. He beat John Higgins in Saudi, he beat Karen Wilson, of course, at the UK Championship. But he has said he'll only be satisfied when he wins a trophy. It's not about the money, it's not about climbing the rankings, it's about taking home a trophy.
16.
Just potted the red on the thick side there. He wanted to be straighter on the black than he is. I'm assuming the black is on its spots and will be available after he's potted it. Can under red into play, and that's okay, but does the black still pot? Or more to the point, does it even go on its spot? If it doesn't, it'll have to go on the green spot, I think. Does still go, so that's important from Elliot Slessor's point of view, because the black is still available into both corners.
One.
Elliot Slessor hasn't actually beaten Hossein Vafaei before. He's 3-0 behind on the head-to-head, but on current form, and the way he's performed so far in this group, I'll have to make him favourite.
Yeah, Vafaei's not had a good season. He's had that shoulder complaint certainly early on in the campaign, which didn't help. He's actually 52nd on the 1-year list, so he's way down, 32nd in the official rankings.
Yes, and just to further explain that Hossein Vafaei has declined slightly. He was ranked as high as 15 just a couple of seasons ago.
Now Slessor trying to get into them, but nodded their head as if to say thanks for that, snooker gods. Nothing doing there. I mean, he gets on a red there, he probably wins the frame, doesn't he? But not to be.
Yeah, you can ask any professional snooker player, if you're ever playing a deciding frame and you go into the reds, you can ask any player, as I say, and they'll always tell you they very rarely end up on a ball when they go into the pack of reds and they have a chance to win frame and match in a decider. I'm assuming the two reds just to the right there aren't a plant for this corner pocket, albeit I think the brown is snookering them anyway, just about.
Yeah, Vafaei, as you say, he got in the 16. He played at the Masters. He beat Selby a couple of times at the UK. Of course, he had a quite a memorable match with Ronnie O'Sullivan at the Crucible. You know, he was very visible as a player for a good couple of years. But I do think that shoulder injury was a big reason why he sort of has gone a bit AWOL this season. Really, we're not seeing much of him. So hopefully all is well again, health-wise.
Even that is slightly unfortunate from Hussein's point of view. The red that he's just played has rebounded into a potable position, and beg pardon, Elliot Slessor can take this on as a shot to nothing. And he's normally very good at these. Bit thin on that occasion, but certainly got a good cue ball. And that's a really good safety from Hossein Vafaei, because the brown and blue are blocking off the left-hand side of the table, and the right-hand side is very heavily congested. And it's because of that that Elliot may feel forced to take on this difficult long red, but there'll be a lot of pressure on it. That's a great safety shot from Elliot. But look at the position of the reds. There are 8 reds remaining, and they're all in the middle of the table and all in very possible positions. So that 47 points lead that Elliot has could quickly disappear if Hossein were to get an advantage here and get in amongst them. Oh, what a pot. Now he's looking for a good kiss on the brown. Didn't get one. But if he plays this next shot well, Elliot will be coming to the table in a snooker. Beautiful cut back on the red. Just wanted a fuller cannon on the brown to knock it on for the green pocket. And there's the snooker that I suggested, and I don't think Elliot can do anything else really here other than to play a hit and hope. I can't see a shot because of the position of the Reds that he can play to guarantee safety.
Yeah, it's a nasty business this. He, as you say, may go with pace. Just hope for the best. Well, it doesn't look like he's left an absolute sitter. Could have left a much easier one than this. But in it goes. Cue ball just running a little. Still a bit of pressure on this black. 45 behind.
Yeah, two excellent pots there from Vafaei. Purposely played for this red to the left centre. Not as easy as it could have been, but he couldn't really have got much better on it. But now he's knocked that in, and he's nice on the yellow. He's right in here. Green is the only obvious difficulty if he gets that far. But by then I'm sure he'll have a handy advantage.
I'm sure Elliot Slessor is still thinking about the split and not getting on a red when he was going very nicely in this frame. Same Vafaei is a beautiful striker of the cue ball, has quite a flat cue action, but you can almost feel the strike of the ball. Strokes it beautifully. But as Dave has already mentioned, he has had a few injury issues to deal with, particularly his shoulders and his back as well at times. He's had a few problems. He's lost a lot of weight in recent years as well, which has probably helped.
35.
So now the real work begins. The remaining red is in a slightly awkward position. Could do with that yellow being off its spot. He'll have to come around that yellow. Avoided the cannon. Lots of side spin on the cue ball. This looks really good. Problem is, he'll have to run the cue ball down for pink or black from this red because of the angle he has on it. So if he pots the pink and the yellow, he'll be 4 points ahead as he tackles the difficult green. He's going to play the blue, and that's because he's going to try and cannon the green into play here. That's the only reason he'd be playing the blue. And he certainly has cannoned the green into play. But he's just run on a little bit too far, and he doesn't have a good angle on the yellow, so all I can say is really he's certainly got back in the frame, but it's unlikely now that he'll go on to win it from here.
Dramatic start then, 1 point in it on the colours in frame one. Oh, hang on. He's okay. Nicely done.
Oh, he controlled that really nicely, but he's been very unfortunate. He's very straight on this green. If anything, he's just off straight the wrong side. I wonder if you can play this with topspin with side to come around the angles between pink and black and get onto the brown. It's not easy to play this with the rest to generate the power necessary. Oh, he's managed it. In fact, his cue ball's running on a little further than he'd like, but he is on the brown. It's an excellent shot.
Yeah, two really good pots, yellow and green. Brown and blue will put him 13 in front with 13 on, so pink for frame. And that bad split he got, a thing of the past if he pots these next two balls. The green played its part, didn't it? Vafaei got the snooker behind it to set up the chance, but of course it was in an awkward spot, so he played to get it out, left himself a little awkward on the yellow, which he then missed. And Elliot Slessor has stepped in and secures the opening frame. So an interesting start to this one. Elliot Slessor leading Hossein Vafaei by a frame to nil. This is session 2, because it's a 2-day group, and in fact there's 4 groups this week, so there's 8 days of snooker in total. And we will be seeing later in the week the likes of Neil Robertson, the 2024 world champion Karen Wilson, and indeed the current world champion Chao Xing-Tong. In fact, they're all scheduled to come in the same group on Thursday. So that's a bit of a blockbuster, Group 4. We've got Dave Gilbert, Gary Wilson, Noppen Sengham, Serge Alway, and various others as well coming in this week. Mark Selby after the Masters, Jack Lazowski as well, and plenty more besides. So it's Stuart Bingham I should mention, because he always plays in the Championship League. So yeah, it's another stellar lineup. 25 players in total. Of course, we lose 3 each group. 1 goes into the winners group, 2 get relegated. The other 4 remain and are joined by 3 new players. Just to say, it's 1 each Tom Ford and Jackson Page. So table 2 has speeded up a bit from this afternoon. And in fact, Ford has made a break of 129. That's the highest so far. There is a £500 prize for the high break. You suspect that'll get beaten, but that's the target right now.
Just stretching his neck out there. There is a lot of force and strain on your neck whenever you play snooker, and a lot of players have issues with their neck throughout their careers at certain points. Same breaking off for the second frame here. Not really been a good day from his point of view. A lot can change, and I think a lot will need to change if he's to qualify.
Yeah, again, if you're just joining us, he's lost his first 2 matches, so he needs something, you feel, out of this one. It's his last match of the night. You know, doesn't want to go back to the hotel. Played 3, lost 3. Puts all the pressure on tomorrow. He's got another 3 matches. If he won them all, you know, he could still qualify, but it's all ifs and buts. He needs to start doing something today. But he's a very resilient character, I think. You know, he's only had issues, of course, coming from Iran with visas for various tournaments, have sometimes fallen through at the last minute. That's cost him ranking points. It's cost him the chance to progress in events, but he's stuck at it. And there's now another Iranian on tour, Amir Sarkosh.
Again, just look at the impeccable length of the safety shot there, played by Elliot Slessor, tight on the bulk cushion. It's so difficult to strike the cue ball accurately. And I have to say that Hossein's made a good job of that. He has left a potable red on for Elliot Slessor, but you have to play it with a lot of right-hand side on the cue ball, check side, so that the cue ball doesn't cannon into the pack of reds, and that makes the pot very difficult. I think he may have to take it on. I can't see another shot that he can play, unless he decides to play this very thinly. He did, and he played it well. Very important safety has changed this, given the position of the reds and the fact that the black is in open play. Could be costly if you make a mistake. Definite chance for Elliot Slessor. The cue ball cannoning green and brown there has left this red on. Yeah, not surprised he knocked it in. It's a type of long one that you practice quite regularly because it does come up a lot, that type of angle. Well, if that red that's closest to the black pots, and I think it will, Elliot's just played a superb positional shot there, and that's a very good break builder's shot there. Spotting the one ball that you need to get out of the way to make a potential frame-winning break much easier.
Well, he was in first in the opening frame, but of course he went wrong there when he had to go into the reds. Here, already nicely open. Plus he won the first frame in the end as well, so he's feeling good. I think it's a good sign. He's a heavy practicer, Slessor. I think everyone knows that. It's a good sign he's here on the first day. You know, players can request which day they play. Could have come later in the week, but he's here on day one. It's a statement in itself that he's back to work here in the new year. Because as I said earlier, it really could be a big few months for him if he gets in all those big Players Series events. It's a chance actually to get in the top 16 in time for the Crucible if he was to start going deep. He's 20 now, and that means of course he'd be seeded for the World Championship.
Possibly that cue ball ran on a couple of inches further than Elliot would have liked. He now has a great angle on the black to go into the reds with, but I'm not sure he wanted to go into the reds. He more or less had to there, but it may well have worked out very well if this red is available into the right corner.
46.
129 that Tom Ford made, as I said, was a target for the group's high break. It could be beaten here for sure.
Absolutely, Dave, especially if Elliott can pop this red to the right corner and bring that awkward red into play that's near the right centre pocket, which I'm sure he'll attempt if he feels that he can get enough backspin. He obviously didn't.
61.
Wasn't quite straight enough on that red to have played the cannon, which I'm sure he'd like to have played.
Well, the main thing is win the frame, and if he pots this red, barring snookers, he'll have done that.
67.
So very close first frame, but this has been emphatic from Slessor.
68.
Number 5, really up against it, having lost his first 2 matches, now 2-0 down in his third. Well, that miss came out of nowhere. He has won the frame, but we should have done. But that was an unexpected miss. 5 playing on, 76 behind though, 59 on. Well, we need 5 snookers here. Maybe just playing on for just a bit of potting practice, although of course he had plenty of table time in frame 1. Yeah, I mean, it was just never going to happen, was it? So, Elliott Slessor, okay, he was disappointed to break down on 76, but overall delighted to be leading here by 2 frames to 0 and needing just 1 more for his second point. In fact, it's his last match of the day, so he would end the night on something of a high with all to play for tomorrow. Tom Ford, by the way, has gone 2-1 up against Pang Junzhu on the next, not Pang, sorry, Jackson Page, and he's had another, in fact, he's had another century, 139. So there was me saying Slessor could beat his break. He's beaten his own. So suddenly, maybe players a bit rusty this morning, with obviously coming back after the Christmas break, but now starting to hit their stride as we know they can. Ford back-to-back breaks of 129 and 139. Of course, Jackson Page has won his first 2 matches, but things may be turning around. You dusted your cue off, Dominic, over the Christmas period, albeit briefly in the seniors.
Dusted is the right word to use, Dave. I had to get the old polish out. It'd been in its case for a long time. Yes, the thing that disappointed me, I tried to practice more than I wanted to actually for the event, but my neck was killing me having not played for quite a while, and so I'm considering practicing an hour a week or something just to keep myself sort of limbered up for future events.
Well, Slessor nicely limbered up here. He's 2-0 up in the match and be hoping to secure the point. And of course, if you can win 3-0, then if it does come back to a cap back in frames tomorrow, that's all to the good as well.
It was a tough safety to have to play. Had to catch that red a little finer than he did. That would have enabled the cue ball to avoid the cannon on that red, which has now left Elliott in with this great opportunity. The black is available into the opposite corner. Dear. Maybe a little bit of a loss of concentration perhaps, because he was concerned about the positional aspects of the shot. Who knows, but surprising miss nevertheless, and a half chance here for Hossein. I think he always thought that the cube would be cannoning into that red, and I think he was hoping to knock it on for the right centre. But he certainly could have left Hossein with an easy red. He hasn't done, but he does have a choice of very makeable ones.
Well, looks like there is the gap through to this red, to the yellow pocket. So things going from bad to worse for Hossein Vafaei. It's one thing for Slessor to take his chances. It's another if Vafaei fails to punish him, if he does make a mistake, which is what's happened thus far. Well, he's played to go into the cluster there, but caught another red.
8.
Yes, that cue ball could have gone anywhere, I suppose. This red, though, is still rather tricky, but he's guaranteed to be on the black if he can knock it in. Oh, well played. Now has a choice to play for one of the loose reds, but he could go into the pack here if he wished.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to be in that sort of mood. Looks very determined. That was pretty determined, wasn't it? And it could be the winning shot, effectively. Obviously, he's still got to keep going, but all the pieces are where they want to be, or where he wants them to be, sorry. So it's up to him to try and do the business here. He's an intense character on the snooker table, and he'll say himself he's been maybe a bit too intense at times down the years, but puts a lot of work in, Slessor, and he's just hoping that the rewards eventually will come. He's already done terrifically well, but in terms of becoming a real top player, winning tournaments, that he hopes he's round the corner for him. We saw it happen, of course, to another northeasterner, Gary Wilson, who won his first tournament and then very quickly won 2 more. Of course, he's now top 16 man.
I was commentating on Elliott in his previous match with Ben Wollaston, and we were both saying that we've noticed a change in his play the last few seasons, how he's sped up his play, and allied with that he's become a more aggressive, more attacking player, which is normal. If you speed up your game, you very, very rarely play more safety play. You're more likely to be more of an attacking player when you speed up your game, because there's an aggressive train of thought to speed up your game, and I think allied with that comes a different style of play as well. You tend to be more attacking.
Well, it's been a mixed bag. He's won 3-0, he's lost 3-0, and now poised to win 3-0 again. But of course these players are so evenly matched, and these matches are very short. So you really have to make the most of your chances. It's not like a best of 19 where you can sort of find your way into the match. You've really got to hit the ground running.
Started really well, Elliot Slessor, with a comfortable win over Chris Wakelin, but then Joe O'Connor played superbly well against Elliot Slessor and didn't really get much of a look in Elliot Slessor in that match with Joe O'Connor, but doesn't seem to have perturbed him overly. He's come back very strongly here.
So just has to see this home with a couple more pots. Staring at the cue. Well, it's just run on a little bit, but this is the ball, this red, that should see him over the line to complete what in the end is a comprehensive victory. Yeah, I really think he's one to watch in 2026, Elliot Slessor. You know, he's moving forward all the time in his career, gaining in confidence. We're seeing that in the performances he's putting in, including this one. Well, ooh, the red had 2 goes at dropping. Vafaei's not conceded, but well, good luck from here. 2-0 down, 73 behind with 59 on.
Cheeky attempt there at a 2-cushion double around the angles, but it's beneficial that the red is over the pocket, because Hossein had to try his level best to get onto a high-value colour, and I have to say he's done a good job of that. Oh, I wonder if this plant could be made into the right corner. No, maybe not. Elliott can more or less do what he wishes here. I don't think there's any danger of him losing this frame with the advantage that he has 60 points with 43 on.
No, I mean, the only chance, of course, is to pop this red with the black and then free ball with the last red and kind of keep going until you get the points, but it's very tall order. Well, it seems unlikely to be a free ball, even if he doesn't hit the red. This is better if it's a snooker with the red by the brown. So that does raise free ball potential. Suggesting the referee stands near to red and brown, because it might be tight as to which one he hits.
Beautifully played, but cleverly chosen that shot as well, because had the cue ball gone past the red and the foul committed, it wouldn't have been a free ball. If it's chosen another path, it may well have been.
Yeah, this is the problem. I mean, he needs 5 snookers, but that's 5 successful ones. You know, he might have to lay 100 before he actually gets penalty points. Slessor himself, though, he's played on in this position before now, and he's come close to turning around unlikely deficits, so he won't have a problem with this, I'm sure, and he's shown discipline himself so far. Well, he's kind of got one by default there, really, but wouldn't expect him to miss this.
Yes, not only does Hossein Vafaei need to get the snooker, he needs to try and place that red near a colour somewhere so that there is a chance of a free ball. That's why he chose to play the red towards the black and get the cue ball into bulk, and he's played a very good shot there. But maybe this is too easy a swerve.
chance then to put it away once and for all. Not the result really looked in doubt. This red, if it goes in, there really is no way back for Hussein Vafaei. First frame was close, wasn't it? But Slessor has dominated since. But the red is not in. Well, that'll annoy him because he's now got a bit more agony to survive.
Chance maybe to cut this red into the green pocket, perhaps. Guaranteed a good cue ball. I think he just tried to knock it towards the pocket, in or over, as they say. That's good enough.
Now, if you can see the potting angle, not sure he can. Thought he had a dart at this red to corner, maybe can't quite see it clearly. No.
Nicely played, and I don't think Elliott can swerve around the yellow, and I don't think he can come. Oh, he may be able to. No, is he? He's just got to be careful here. He doesn't clip the red and going off. That could happen if you don't swerve it severely enough. Oh, he played it very well. Well, now he's in one himself. And he's in off. And he's still not conceding.
Well, 56 behind, 35 on. 6 snookers needed now.
He's in trouble here, I was saying, Vafaei, because the red is very potable, of course, but that's the last thing he wants to do. But what else can he play here? It's risky to try and do anything else but pot the red. That's why he's left it on. I say he's left it on. Elliott won't mind if he doesn't pot the red, because he'll be guaranteed to leave it right over the pocket. I'm sure he'll be playing this pocket weight. And then, of course, if he doesn't pot it, Hossein will be forced to.
It just looked a very tall order, and there is the handshake. The bottom line is Elliott Slessor has won the match by 3-0, and he ends his day with 2 points out of 3. Hossein Vafaei's played 3, lost 3. We've still got one more match to bring you. In 5 minutes' time, it's Chris Wakelin against Pang Zhengzhou.
It's Joshua Filler with an absolute dominating win. Moritz Neuhausen is your new Premier League pool winner.
Elisha Schaap makes the ultimate statement. What a journey Paulo Biardo he's made to the pinnacle of a sport. Elisha Schaap has completed a terrific transatlantic double. He didn't want to jump on the table in Florida, but he can't resist this time. Aloysius, you are a superstar.
The breakthrough has come for Piers Lamutus.
Team Asia, they've won the Reyes Cup again.
David Alcade, it's your turn again, buddy.
Can you believe it? An absolute nightmare for Tyler Steuer. Europe have won the Mosconi Cup.
I'm Barry Hearn, president of Matchroom Sport.
Talk to me. I'm Eddie Hearn, the chairman of Matchroom Sport.
My son and heir, I call him my project. He's good, but he's not yet great. I'm fucking watching you.
We are the biggest sports promotional company in the world.
Matchroom started as a £100 company and now worth north of £1 billion.
Look at what the old man has done. I never wanted to work for my dad, but you have to play the hand you're dealt.
Eddie, he has ego. It's a weakness, and I won't give up control until I'm sure he's ready.
Boxing is an important element of the revenue stream, but only an element. We've got the greatest snooker player to ever play the game.
The biggest profit earner is darts.
There's no business that has the drama,
If I found out you knew about it, you're done.
the ego,
Jesus Christ. What is that?
the aggravation.
Oh, shit! We need fair judges next time.
The most important thing from my dad is winning. The world's come crashing down on us. I mean, what's going to make you feel better?
Please could I get a packet of pickled onion Monster Munch?
We need to talk about Conor Benn. We need to get him back in a ring.
Yeah! I ain't getting on with Jake Paul.
He's taken a number of shots at me,
Come talk, come talk.
and I ain't going to back down.
Show me what you've got. I'm going to make our company
Bigger and better.
than ever.
Let's go!
Global domination.
Nothing less.
I still don't understand why the shirt's off.
Welcome back. We just have one match remaining of the first day's play of Group 1 of the 2026 BetVictor Championship Snooker League. Chris Wakelin about to break off. He's in action against China's Pang Junju. Very, very important match this for Chris Wakelin. He started poorly, losing 2 matches out of 2, but he has won 1 match. Busy man today. This is his 4th match. Lost both his opening matches to Elliot Slessor and then to Tom Ford, but he did get a win over Joe O'Connor in his previous match, albeit just by the odd frame at 3-2. So if Chris Wakelin is to have any chance, you feel, of qualifying, he's got to win his remaining matches, starting here. Delighted to welcome back into the commentary box Ben Wollaston. Any favourites here, Ben?
Not really, but Chris did play well to get his first win in his last match. And as you said, he started, you know, it was a bad start to the day, lost his first 2 matches, but if he can win this match, he'll have a good chance tomorrow. So, and I think Pang's won 1 match and lost 1 match, so he's in a similar position, even though I think he'd have played 1 match less.
Yeah, I mean, this is Pang Junju's 3rd match, and if he can win it, that'll be 2 wins from 3 for him. There are players that have already won 2 matches today: Jackson Page, Elliot Slessor and Joe O'Connor. It's a very closely contested group, as you'd expect. But tomorrow's remaining group matches will be all important. And that's when the pressure really does tell on the players, when they know that each win can be vital to the chances of qualification to the semi-final playoffs.
16.
These players have met on 4 separate occasions, and Chris Wakelin leads the head-to-head by 3 matches to 1.
purposely left this red a little bit low so he can pot this red, free a few more reds from the pack and go up for blue or bulk colour. I actually didn't see that red. I didn't see that red went, which that's the bonus, so he's got another 2 reds in play.
Just didn't get the amount of topspin on the cue ball that he wanted to there. He's left this pot now unnecessarily difficult. Well, slightly hampered queuing perhaps, but this potentially would be the 6th red and 6th black. Red though will prove, I feel, to be a little bit too much of an encumbrance. It's a good position on the next red. Pot is also missable now because of that red.
Yeah, Chris is definitely thinking about the 147 now by playing that shot for the black.
Yeah, he's done really well here. I don't know if he's aware that Jackson Page has made a break of 139, which is the front runner for the 500 break, £500 highest break prize. And this for me is always a horrible shot, because when you go into the pack of reds from the black off the top cushion, if anything, you're pushing the reds up the table. So you've got to hope that you land on something probably to a middle pocket. Oh, and he has. That's not bad.
7-2.
Yeah, nice shot. And nothing went near the cushion there, which was important when he went into those reds. So, yeah, the frame's safe now. So that's all he'll be focusing on now, is making this 147.
Probably played for the red next to the pink there, just to get one of the slightly more awkward reds out of the way. Still considering it. He's just a touch straighter on it than he wanted to be. Still has the red though to the left corner. he's cannon the black. Look where he's cannon that black to, Ben. What are his chances now, do you think?
Yeah, not great, because not just it's on the cushion, but it's pretty straight as well. So great pot, but he's done really well, probably as well as he could have now. But I think he's going to have to again leave himself a difficult black. I think he's just wrong side of straight on this red.
Yeah, I think you're right, but what a shot that he played on the black. He could not have asked to have played that previous shot any better than he has. To still be batting, so to speak. Remarkable feat considering where he had to play that last black from. Can he get onto the black? Is there any way? Well, it's not bad. He's brought the awkward red into play, so if he can just tiptoe this black in, he'll be on his next red, I'm sure. It's all about the pot.
Wants the white to slow up. So yeah, I think it's a good pot on the black. I think he might have to take this red into the black pocket to get position on the black. Looking at the cut in the middle.
Oh, he's got to play it into the corner, surely.
You'd think so, because it looks too thin from our angle to cut it into the middle and stay on the black. Yeah, he's going for it in the corner now. Great shot.
Oh, nerves of steel. Well, a few shots ago when he cannoned the black to the top cushion, I thought that was any hope of a maximum ended right there. But a series of terrific pots and positional play has got him back in A1 position. He must be feeling very nervous now. He's only made 133 career centuries ahead of today's play. This would be the most remarkable of them all.
Yeah, I don't think Dominic, he's made a 147 in tournament play, has he, Chris?
No, he hasn't. Wow, he's done so well here. He's got a lovely angle on the black to go up for the yellow, but can he judge the pace of the shot well?
Yeah, played it nicely. That was one of the key shots there.
Well, I suppose that brown to blue is very important. He needs to be just high on the blue, but not so far high on the blue that he has to go around the angles to get onto the pink. So this is the key shot coming up now. Almost dead straight on the blue would be ideal.
It's not bad. You'd like to have hit it slightly softer. Still think he'll be fine, but he has overrun it by a couple of inches.
I think he's okay. If he runs through a foot or more, he'll be straight enough on the pink to hold for the black. But he can't just drop it in off the side cushion. I think he's going to have to use two cushions here. Can he adjust the pace perfectly? He looks so calm and in control, but I'm sure inside he's anything but. In goes the pink. How is he on the black? Slow down.
Stop.
He's okay. Black for his first career 147. Take a breath. Is it in? Oh, it's in. Congratulations. And you can see what it means to him. A fantastic 147, the first of his career for Chris Wakelin. Congratulations. He won the Scottish Open just a few weeks ago, but that, I'm sure, is of similar measure to him because it's a career-defining moment for any player to make a 147. Congratulations to Chris Wakelin. You can see what it means to him, but he's got 2 more frames to win to get this match won yet, and that's important. Well done, Chris Wakelin. Congratulations, sir. Well, I would have left the auditorium, Ben. I don't know about you. I don't know how he's feeling inside, but I mean, I was nervous watching it. See, he must have been even worse.
Yeah, I was nervous watching it. Yeah, his heart will be pumping now, and it might take him a few shots in this next frame to calm down from it, to be honest. I always think after you make a 147, you don't normally play a very good next frame.
Absolutely, Ben. Do you know, even in practice sometimes it can unsettle you because it's, you know, you don't make maximums very often. I mean, in your whole career, even on the practice tables, you know, you might make 100 and something maximums in 30 years as in a career on the practice table, but to do one out there and in the match auditorium against a great player like Pang Junju in a match that he's got to win, really, because he lost his first 2 matches. He's won his previous match, but only by 3 frames to 2. He needs to win this match, and you know, making a maximum will mean the world to him. It's a fantastic moment in his career. There are some fantastic players that have their whole careers and never make a maximum, but Chris has achieved that feat now, and you know, as you say, he's got to win 2 more frames yet, and Pang Junju breaking off with his 2nd frame won't make life easy.
Yeah, and to be honest, with a few reds left, it looked impossible really that he could make a 147, especially when he put the black on the black cushion. But did amazing recovery shots there, Chris. So it was a great 147.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many players that are capable of winning a ranking event, and I mean, Chris won the shootout a few years ago, but I mean, it's not a snooker ranking event. By that I mean you don't play by the same rules as in the official rules of the game of snooker. It's different completely, shot clock and everything else. But you know, to win a ranking event at the Scottish Open is hard enough, and there are so many players capable of winning ranking events, but it's so hard to make a 147 as well. The balls have to be in the right positions, the black has to be in open play. As I say, there are so many players who have gone through 30-year careers and never made a 147 break. It's an incredible feat.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true, but there was always a story that John Higgins had never made a 147. He was world champion before he made a 147. I don't know how true that was, but
I certainly remember the fact that he'd never made a 147 in practice until he made a 147 against Dennis Taylor in the Nations Cup many years ago. I think it's 1999, if memory serves me. He made a 147 against Dennis. And yeah, he'd never made one in practice. So, of course, he'd won the World Championships before 1999, so yeah. I mean, John Higgins, I mean, just a word on him. I mean, he was a professional for 5 years only, and he was world number 2 in 1997. And as Ben has reminded me, he won his first world title in 1998. So you're absolutely right, he hadn't made a 147 in practice.
the reason I remember it was 1998. It was the first World Championship I really watched properly, because I was only 11 at the time. So yeah, I remember that World Championship quite vividly. Have you commentated, Dominic, on 147s before? That's my first one, because obviously I've not done much commentary. But
oh, great. Well, I hope I managed to allow you a word in edgeways here and there, Ben. I'm sorry. But yeah, I've been fortunate to commentate on 2 or 3 Maximums now. I did, oh, goodness me, Shag Anders 147. I think it was in the UK Championships. He made one, and it was his 3rd career maximum, I think, at the time.
yeah, I think that was against Lei Pei Fan, maybe last season.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the standard of snooker these days is just You know, it's incredible. I wasn't expecting to have to research this, but I've got a feeling that's something like 16, maybe 17 147s this season. Dave Hendry would put me right on that in the trice, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think Dave said earlier that it was, yeah, I think you're right, 16 or 17, but we've already passed the record for 147s in the season, and we're only probably just over halfway through the season, so there's probably a lot more to come before the end of the season.
33.
Yeah, I think, you know, you look at the calibre of players that we have in some of the groups coming up in the next 8 days here at the Championship League. My goodness me, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see another one.
38.
But I'm not massively surprised that Pang Junju is in first here in this second frame. It's very difficult to focus and concentrate after a maximum break. You're just reliving it basically while he's sat in your chair, and furthermore, of course, he's probably still shaking like a leaf. The interesting thing here is whoever wins this match will end the day on 2 wins.
44.
The problem for Chris Wakelin is, though, this is his 4th match of the day, and this is only Pang Junju's 3rd match of the day. So if he does win this match, Pang, 2 wins from 3, it's a good day's work.
Yeah, Chris caught that red way too thick, that's why it's come up this end of the table, so another chance for Pang in this frame. So that takes the lead to 50 in this frame, so one good mid-range pot here from Pang, and you'd expect this match to go 1-1.
Junju has more or less won this frame. I'll just give you an update on what's been going on table 2. Jackson Page defeated Tom Ford by the odd frame at 3-2. And he's currently in action, Jackson Page. Been a busy boy today. He's playing 4 matches. This is his 4th that he's just in play with now. He's playing Joe O'Connor, and Joe O'Connor's won the first frame over there on table 2. We'll pop in and have a look at that, I'm sure, when this frame is finished, which shouldn't be long. Well, the red hasn't gone in. Pang Junju's done more than enough to win this second frame and level this match up at 1-1. Very important match for both of these players, all to play for, as both players take a well-earned rest, I think, after that maximum break. We're going to have a look now at table 2. Joe O'Connor, as I say, has won the first frame against Jackson Page. Jackson Page hasn't lost a match yet today. This, as I say, is his 4th. He must be quite tired and jaded.
Jackson Page,
it's been a long day. Joe O'Connor has won 2 matches, so if he could beat Jackson Page here, both Jackson and Joe O'Connor would have had a pretty good day's play, I have to say. But it's pretty close, this group, because, as I say, Elliot Slessor and Joe O'Connor have each won 2 matches so far. So, as I say, if Joe can win this match, he'll have won 3 matches. Jackson Page will have won 3 matches. And they'll be at the top of the group, but there's all sorts of things that can go right and wrong for these players when play resumes tomorrow. The remaining group matches ahead of the semi-finals and finals, which will be played later in the evening.
7.
So we'll leave them to it. But of course, if you did want to watch play over on table 2, it's available via our Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. So head over there if you want to watch Jackson Page in action against Joe O'Connor. But why would you want to leave our coverage here after witnessing that incredible 147 from Chris Wakelin in frame 1? Not the best break off. This red is cuttable.
Just pop that red a little bit thin. That's why the white's gone past the bulk line. Got to hit this while he's trying to power shot into the middle pocket with loads of screw. Done well there to get the white down that far down the table.
4.
Been a little fortunate to leave things safe there, but I wonder if Chris will attempt to play a thick safety here and bring a few reds into play. I thought he could cut that red in. He's missed it. Caught the bump of the middle pocket. And he has left a chance of a red here for Pang Junju into this left corner. And I think it's one he's likely to take on. Just didn't stun the cue ball enough there. Is he taking this thin cut on? That's Very Pang Junju-like to take such a risk. Chris Wakelin has just scored 2 points since that scintillating maximum for A1. I don't think it'll be long though before he regains his focus and concentration.
Yeah, he's not really had a good chance since that 147, but he has missed it quite a few safety shots. Maybe he just needs that good chance to get him going again.
Yes, I didn't think anything moved. Foul has been declared by Pang Junju. Didn't contact anything there. No obvious harm done though, but it does allow Chris Wakelin to remove this red from bulk. And he'll have a more orderly frame. Very awkward when there's a red in bulk. Players tend to play their safety shots behind the black spot, and the reds get shunted all over the place.
Gave a chance to Chris here to open the balls up and try and get a good white. It's a big target behind yellow, brown.
I think he's been unlucky there, Chris. I think he was surprised that he didn't open more reds into play there. Almost too thin. But he's been lucky, I think. He has been. I think I remember, Ben, commentating on one of your matches. I think it was in the Championship League. Did you beat somebody who made 3 consecutive centuries, didn't you? Was it Michael Holt you beat? I can't remember.
No, I do remember it because it was during COVID times. And I remember because it was against Tom Ford, because he always joked.
Tom Ford, of course.
He always joked, you never play like that against anyone else. You just do it against me. Yeah, I do remember that match.
Yeah, so do I. Didn't last that long. He played incredibly well. I'm sure Chris Wakelin felt the way these last couple of frames have gone, or the last frame went anyway, that he's probably going to suffer that red finding the middle pocket, but it didn't do. And this is the first good chance he's had since that maximum. But he'd love to play that again. He's on nothing. absolutely nothing.
Bit surprised he didn't actually play for the black off that red. It just looked like a natural angle. But obviously Chris was behind it, so he thought playing for the pink was a better choice.
Shot.
Sarcastic shot. It looked like he just took the 6 points there.
Well, he seemed to strike it okay, but obviously he didn't get anywhere near enough backspin on the cue ball to hold for a red, and I think there's a degree of embarrassment there in the outcome of that shot, but nevertheless it was a good pot on the pink with the rest, that's for certain.
Yeah, the positive is he's still at the table. He could have easily missed that pink and left Pang in, so he could still play good safety and get Pang in trouble here.
Ju haven't mentioned, he's just 25 years old, he's ranked 27th in the world, he's a great player, getting better all the time. Was the runner-up a couple of seasons ago in the WST Classic. So he's a player with good pedigree, Pang Junju, and as I say, I think he's improving season upon season. Very, very tough, hard match player.
Yeah, both players here just looking for a telling safety, but because the reds are quite close together, it's not easy to trap the other player.
as this safety exchange between the two players. I'll just give you another quick update on what's going on table 2 in the match between Joe O'Connor and Jackson Page. Jackson Page has managed to win frame 2 with a break of 80 to level that match up at 1-all. If Jackson were to win that match, his progression to the semi-final playoffs are pretty much guaranteed. That'll be 4 wins out of 4 for Jackson Page. Joe O'Connor, if he can manage to defeat Jackson, well, he'll have won 3 matches along with Jackson Page, so both players will be looking good at qualification. Pang Junju looking very solid.
24.
Could have done with being a little straighter on this red to the right corner. He's looking at the one now to the left centre, but that too could be awkward, and the pink isn't available. He'd have to run up for the blue, and I'm not sure he has the angle to do that. But I think if he can play the red to the right corner with the rest and get enough backspin on the cue ball, he could avoid the cannon on the black. Still doesn't like it though. It doesn't really matter if you purposely leave yourself the wrong side of the blue. It's easy to go in and out of bulk. Amazing. Played it with topspin with enough pace to go the right side of the blue, but he actually jabbed that in, so he's obviously tried to create a little bit of angle for the cue ball there. That was a much better pot the way he played it than it may have appeared.
And again, that was a good shot to avoid the red that was just to the top of the black there. He had to dig down on that blue, so it made the blue missable into the middle pocket.
I remember a match he played against Robert Milkins at the Crucible Theatre, Pang Junju. He started the match brilliantly, went 3-0 ahead, but it ended up going down to a deciding frame, and he was in with a golden chance in the decider, and he missed either a red or a brown to the right-hand centre pocket from in bulk, and Rob Milkins won that deciding frame. But I think that experience really helped Pang Junju to become the solid player that he is now. He doesn't make as many mistakes as he did. He's a very, very capable player and a very dangerous break builder. When he's really on form, he's tough to beat.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear you say he's 25, because it does feel like he's been around quite a long time already, but obviously he was very good, very young as well, so. So just the red and black here to be 60 in front with 59 on. Yeah, so it's definitely 2-1 to Pang, and now he can concentrate on himself making a century in this match.
Yes, this is Pang Junxu's first break above 50 in this match. Although he dominated the previous frame.
76.
In fact, he won it 78 points to 0. Just on the yellow.
91.
Can hold for the green into the right-hand centre pocket.
93.
Pang Junxu has made 82 career centuries. Hasn't been on the tour all that long, really. Oh, he's missed the green, so there won't be another century to add to the career tally, but I don't think he'll mind too much. An excellent break from Pang Junxu, more than enough to take a 2-1 lead and go within a frame of victory. So we'll leave them there on table 1 for the time being, and we'll pop across to table 2. Joe O'Connor won the first frame, Jackson Page won the second with a break of 80. But Joe O'Connor, similar to Pang Junxu, isn't he? He's a very, very solid player, Ben.
Yeah, yeah, he's as solid as they come, really. Joe, you know, I said it before, got a lot of similarities to Selby with his temperament, his knowledge, like with safety and getting snookers. Both started, you know, in a pool background, both of them. So, and I know Joe sort of looked up to Mark a lot, you know, growing up, and I think he's based his game a lot on Mark.
Yes, I always look up to Mark Selby. He's taller than I am. But yeah, Mark Selby, a former 8-ball pool world champion before he turned his attentions to snooker. And I do liken Joe O'Connor to Pang Junxu in that both players give very little away. They're very undemonstrative. If things are not going their way, they don't show it in any of their facial expressions or contortions.
14.
So does this pink, red and any colour to take a 2-1 lead against a man that's yet to be defeated today. Action Jackson Page. Plays now in Tredegar. He used to play in Bargoed or Ebervale, but now plays in Mark Williams' club. Practices all the time with Mark Williams. When Mark Williams is there, he doesn't practice as much, Mark, these days as he used to.
20.
So blue to be absolutely sure of victory in this third frame. You feel with the black being tied up, he's already pretty safe. 59 ahead, 59 on. And the blue just tiptoes in. Table 2's coverage, of course, is always available for you on our Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. But we'll leave them there for the time being as we head over to our main table. Pang Junxu breaking off for what he hopes would be the last frame of this match. That would mean he'd be a 3-1 victor. Chris Wakelin's hopes of qualification hanging by a thread here.
Good opening pot there from Chris. Be a bonus if the pink does go, but now he's looking at the blue.
does appear to go. I'd much prefer the pink, because then you could play for the red closest to the black, get that out of the way, and then the black spot's in open play. But it is a little tight, but not so tight as to dissuade me from attempting it.
Seven.
Now, can he cannon the red that's directly above the black out of the way to leave himself on the other one? Doesn't have to play the cannon. Decided not to. Play for a choice of the three reds into the left centre.
15.
Probably didn't quite have enough angle on the black to play the cannon comfortably. But this time he's perfect. Just needs to make sure he cannons the red above the black into the pack of reds. That way he'd be guaranteed to be on the red just to the right of it.
Thirty-one. Thirty-nine.
With the angle he has on the blue, he's more or less forced to go into the reds, I feel. What is he doing? No, he's played for a loose red to this left corner. I'm just wondering if that red that's to the left of the pink will pot into the left corner as well. Difficult to tell from this camera shot. Maybe on.
Yeah, you'd think it would be, because it's not the best pack to go in off the black. So I was with you, I thought he was going to go into him off the blue.
Oh, useful overhead there. Did suggest to me that that red to the left of the pink is on, and I think Chris will hope that it's on because he's a little straight on the black to go into the pack of reds comfortably. So if that red, as I say, to the left of the pink, the one that's closest to the pink, if it's on, you certainly play for it. The red at the bottom of the main bunch, you can see it there. That may also be possible. And I think it must be, because possibly that's the reason that Chris has played for the black there.
Yeah, Chris just landed too straight on that black to force an angle to get up for that red at the bottom of the pack, so just a safety shot now. Must have looked good to Pang when the white was rolling, but it just went past that brown. Great shot from Chris there. Great shot by Pang there. He had to be very precise not to leave Chris a red there. And really well.
It's a very useful lead, of course, that Chris Wakelin has here, but given the position of the Reds and where they're likely to be after the result of this safety shot, if Pang could get in amongst them, the balls are set very nicely for a potential winning clearance. You obviously can't see enough of the Reds to the left of the pink to play a safety off them. So just trying to roll up to the red next to the black, and he's played this to perfection. Just wonder if that red, though, will pot into the left centre. I just think the cue ball may be too close to the red to attempt it.
Chris just taking a chance there to put a red safe, just in case, but Pang's going to actually move it straight away himself, so.
Oh, he's played that beautifully. Cue ball behind the yellow near the bolt cushion. Chris may have to play this as though snookered. He could play the reds just below the pink, but it's too risky. Don't think he's going to contact the red here. This is awkward for Chris Wakelin. That black could be in his way if he catches these reds on the thick side. He's got to be careful with this. Nice and thin, and he's just avoided that red near the left-hand side cushion. How about this for a cue ball? Just didn't quite manage to get him behind the brown. Surely he hasn't left a gap, has he, between the yellow and the blue for this red near the corner. Ju peruses the situation on table one. We're going to have a look at Joe O'Connor, who's closing in on victory in his match against Jackson Page. In fact, that was 42. Frame and match ball. It's been a good performance from Joe O'Connor. He's such a solid player. Nobody has managed to beat Jackson Page today until now. Oh, he's knocking everything in now. So that match is in the bag, it would appear, for Joe O'Connor, so he'll end the day with 3 wins from 4 matches, as will Jackson Page, this being his only defeat of the day. So both of those players will top this first group. Slessor has managed 2 wins today, so he's in a reasonable position. He's only played 3 matches.
48.
So Joe O'Connor is going to be winning that match over on table 2. But here on table 1, Chris Wakelin, it would appear, about to level things up with Pang Junju and take us into a deciding frame. Oh, what's happened there? Has Pang Junju conceded? He has? Well, that's unusual. He has conceded, so Chris Wakelin returns to his comfortable armchair in the knowledge that he's won that frame, frame 4 of 5, so we are heading the distance. We will be going to a deciding frame. And this is when players just sit there mulling over what's happened during the course of the match, try and come out with a plan of attack for the deciding frame. It's a big frame for both of these players, really. Pang Junju has only won 1 match. Chris Wakelin has only won 1 match. One of them will end up having won 2 matches today, but will it be enough?
Yeah, nobody's mathematically out at the end of this day, but some people will sleep better than others, knowing they're in a stronger position for tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think Hossein Vafaei has any chance of qualifying, and I think he'll be struggling to get 5th place, which would mean he'd return for Group 2. So that's something that players are always wary of. They might look at the table at the close of play this evening and think, well, I don't think I'm likely to qualify for the semi-final playoffs tomorrow, but if I can just win a couple of matches, I might be able to sneak 5th place and come back for Group 2. But the handshake between the 2 players, which is customary these days, well, it's always been customary, really, as we approach a deciding frame. And it's Chris Wakelin breaking off. Don't think either player will like the fact that the black is tied up. But there's not much you can do about that for now. Chris could bring it into play, but it would mean him playing quite a basic safety shot. But he could play a better one by playing this red that he's about to play. Well, he took it on in the knowledge that he'd be on a bolt colour, and it was the only red he could have left, but it wasn't close to the pot. Pang Junju could play a really good safety here. Don't think he'd attempt the cut on the red. Well, he did attempt the cut on the red. That was a bold shot choice, Ben, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's how he saw it at the time, but obviously now that he's left Chris, he didn't go for it. I was expecting him to just play a good safety, line him up behind the green. So I was a bit surprised he went for it too. I think because it's group stage and not straight knockout like a lot of tournaments, maybe players play a bit more attacking than they normally would in other tournaments. Because I don't think Pang would go for that in a normal tournament that's straight knockout.
Is the pink spot available or not, I wonder? Black certainly doesn't pot to the left corner. Where does this pink go? Behind the pack of reds, it would seem.
Can Chris pot this red, screw back and free the other red from the black? He's just looking at the angle now. That would open this frame up if he could. Definitely opened the reds there, but he couldn't have landed much worse with the cue ball, so
yes, bit of a nightmare really, isn't it, Ben, because of the reds now in bulk.
Looks like he's going for this blue, which is a big shot. Great pot, and he's got a red to the middle.
I think the red near the green spot would cut in, but neither red particularly inviting, I have to say. Not in a deciding frame. Well, if he pots the green, it will respot. There's just room there, but it, of course, will tie the red up next to it. So you'll have to look to come down the table for something else. Possibly the red that's just to the right of the black, perhaps. Oh, this cue ball's running. This could go anywhere. Trust into luck, and it's worked out. Did he play that cannon, do you think, Ben?
I think he did. I think he took a chance because the pace he played it at, even if he didn't get the cannon, he had a chance of being on a red.
Yeah, I think you're dead right there. Took a risk because there was always a chance he'd be on something else if the cannon didn't work out. But he has brought the black into play. He's on the pink. The pink spot's in the open. You can see it there. It's available. From nowhere, Chris Wakelin has a great chance here.
Yeah, that one shot on the green has just completely opened the frame. I couldn't see him winning the frame at that visit, and now I'd say you'd be a bit surprised if he didn't win the frame from this visit now.
30. 31.
Just potted that black on the thick side, which has meant
38.
he's given himself more angle on this red than he wanted to have. Shouldn't really be a problem, though. Just playing through a gap between other reds for position on the blue. It's not bad. Began the day very poorly, Chris Wakelin, with defeats 3-0 at the hands of Elliot Slessor, followed very quickly by a 3-1 defeat at the hands of Tom Ford. It looks as though he may well win his remaining 2 matches of the day. He'll have played 4 at the conclusion of this match, and could be that he's won 2 matches out of 4, so he's certainly going to be keeping his hopes alive for qualification to the semi-final stages, which will be played late tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, so just red colour red here for Chris to get his 2nd win of the day. Well, this has been a superb performance from Chris Wakelin. It would have been rather bittersweet had he have lost this match, of course. He made that incredible 147 in frame 1, the first of his career. But had he have gone on to lose this match, it would have been rather disappointing. Be nice to finish the day on, you know, not just with the win, but another century if Chris could do it. But it's not going to be easy without red by the green. He'd love to be able to cut the green in and hold for the red. If he were to cut the brown in, he'd have to take the cue ball all around the table. Can he hold this to the red? Easily. But it's still a tough pot. Oh, what a shame. Well, no 2nd century for Chris Wakelin, but nevertheless a memorable victory and a first career 147 in frame 1. So it's Chris Wakelin who keeps his hopes alive for qualification by winning his 2nd match of the day. Been a very interesting day's play, I have to say. I'll just run through some of the performances. Jackson Page and Joe O'Connor will top the group with 3 wins from 4 matches. Elliot Slessor has won 2 matches. Tom Ford has just won 2, but Chris Wakelin has also won 2 matches. So this is what we have coming up for you tomorrow for day 2. Chris Wakelin first up against Hossein Vafaei. He hasn't won a match today, Hossein Vafaei, so qualification for him
unlikely. Tom Ford will be second up against Tom Ford. Elliot Slessor will be playing Tom Ford, third matchup on table 1, and Pang Junju will round off the action for tomorrow afternoon's play against Hossein Vafaei on table number 1. Table 2, Elliot Slessor will be first up against Welshman Jackson Page. Both those players looking good at the moment, particularly Jackson Page. Joe O'Connor will be second up against Pang Junju, and rounding off the day's play on table 2 will be Chris Wakelin versus Jackson Page. Well, it's been a very interesting day's play, and we thank you very much for your company. We look forward to your company again tomorrow when play will recommence at 11 a.m. So it's from Dave Hendon, Ben Wollaston and myself, Dominic Dale. Until tomorrow morning at 11 a.m, it's good night.